It's Toby.
Here we are back again, episode 79, NYA Show, episode 79. And do I have some words that I would like to share with my good folks here? Let me pull it up here because I'm only going to just show you what the source of what the idea was coming from, the thoughts, and then we can just move forward. But I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this before, but inside of deeds, apparently across this nation, there are word barrings the sale of the homes from to black people. Of course, the majority of the things that I've seen in these particular stories have been black people, but it'll be an array of different groups. Anything that was non-white, you weren't getting property passed down. You weren't buying. I don't give a hell how much money that you have in these luxurious white neighborhoods like Beverly Hills and things of that nature. You weren't getting a spot in there, and that's really what it was all about. Not being able to have the opportunity to then, of course, create generational wealth because most generational wealth is created through home owning. I wanted to make sure that I do put it in here that they they took it out. They made it illegal for people to put this in contracts. Now you can't do this constitutionally. You can't do this anymore. But of course, they still linger in contracts, even though it may be sold to someone that it says that it's not supposed to be sold to. That's one thing. But for the majority of it, it's still owned by the same people that originally set up these contracts to not have it go to any other basic races or groups. One thing I wanted to point out was that it said these pacts, which were enforced through the mutual cooperation of real estate professionals, banks, and neighborhood associates, have contributed to home ownership disparity that continue to drive the racial health, racial wealth gap here in America. So that's to be noted that the reason that we're still dealing with some of these same issues is because there was an agreed upon group of people from the whole institution, in my opinion, all agreed that, hey, we not letting these guys get in these spots. It's like redlining, because, and then they did it on a financial. They effed you over financially because, like, wow, I don't have the opportunity to get any of this land and any of this property and these homes over in these neighborhoods where the property value is sky high. And when people die, they can move on and sell for all these millions of, hundreds of thousands of dollars and things of that nature, or they could just keep it as it acquires wealth, like most of them do, and it keeps its wealth in these areas. You don't have a shot at that at all. They set you out. They set you out that way completely. So it's sad to see, but there are solutions to be made here because if you can, they even got graphs in here where they've taken the time to try to remap where these things were happening at and get down to the bottom of it and maybe come to some type of resolve. Will we come to some type of resolve? Just, I guess waiting on anything federally to be done. I don't think so. It's probably going to have to be a more just on the ground, everyone doing their own research and come together, and maybe so taking it to things that are more state. I think that you could take the fight to more state related cases and judges and be like, yo, this is the information that we have here that we've collected over all this time period. We haven't been given the chance to get like they say, a piece of the pie. And based off of this, we deserve a piece of the pie. So what are you guys going to do about it? You present it to them, and you either get a yay or you get a nay, and then you go back. We just keep pushing at it because the main thing I wanted to also point out here, if I pull back up the story, because it's the disparities are what keep us in the same position that we in now. Housing is really the place where we have made the least progress in terms of civil rights. We often think that these laws and these practices were a long time ago, but they create an infrastructure of discrimination that goes forward. The many black and brown Americans whose ancestors were denied the right to live in the affluent neighborhoods still feel the economic impact. That is the main way that Americans acquire and save money. It's the main way that they pass on the assets to the next generation. So no generational wealth. Guess what? We run into those same issues. Homes built under covenants in Minneapolis are still worth, on an average, 20% more than the median value of homes in the city. That's crazy. And this young lady and her colleagues found. And today, around 75% of white families there own the houses they live in, while the black families, the figure is just 25%. Now, of course, that's not all dependent on these situations. Sometimes things are just handled poorly, but in these overall cases across this country, if we were to really map it out, you will see, whoa, we just been effed over from the get go, and a lot of us have to end up renting and things of that nature. If you put up the stats of who doing all the renting in America, I bet we taking up a good portion of that. Then but when it comes to ownership, the percentage is way lower, and owning. And overall, yeah, we just have to look more into the situation. Let me know what you guys think, because I just found it interesting that even in the paperwork, they said on top of them agreeing to this just on their own, like we're not selling to them, they put it in the paperwork that no, you're not selling to them. It's going to forever stay like that. And of course, if we had anything that really belonged to us and any legacies, and we wrote those things in there, I guess it wouldn't be as much as a problem. But I guess the thing is, you don't even have the property to write those type of things in there, because we don't own the majority of things in this country. Let me know what you think about it. This is the NYA Show, episode 79. I'll see you next week.